How's it going, everyone? We had a chance to see The Division 2, which now takes place in Washington, D.C., and it is a bigger game.
It is.
How big is it?
According to the developers, they said it was about 20% bigger than Manhattan in the original game. So they're focusing more on, in terms of variety of environments you'll explore. So you'll still have the urban and residential areas, but also you'll be going out into forests and maybe the sort of the flooded undergrounds of Washington, D.C.
Yeah, they said it had something like 6 biomes as compared
Biomes,
to 2
that's a good word.
from the last one. I think the last biome was New York and New York, and underground New York.
Underground.
This one has things like forests, full-on forests this time around. They have flooded districts, financial districts. They have the center of government. But that's not the only thing that they're changing this time around. So they said they're trying to focus a lot more on the Endgame experience.
They said specifically that they want players to be able to, sort of see the end in sight, so they'll always be aware of trying to, reach that end goal of trying to get more loot and get more powerful. So it does seem like they want people to sort of clear through the campaign as quickly as they can to actually get to the true sort of game, I guess you can say, which is unlocking the unique specializations that each character can unlock.
The demo that we played actually was right at that point. It was at the point where you had just transitioned from level 30 into the end game, and you started picking up signature skills and signature weapons. So we saw a crossbow, an explosive crossbow, a grenade launcher, and a 50 caliber sniper rifle.
And each of those weapons has unique skill trees attached to them. So you'll also, going in and unlocking different functions for those like different weapons, but also, boosting up your character as well.
It was interesting. So we actually got to play a bunch, and the game feels like an upgraded version right now of the previous game. We didn't see anything that was drastically different. It was definitely that classic cover-to-cover shooting. It was a little bit spongy. It was very difficult, which I appreciated. We like having demos at E3 that are actually hard to get through. Like a bunch, we wiped once or twice.
Yeah.
There were some things that were a little bit more immersion breaking than last time. Like last time I was shooting dudes with hoodies hundreds of times, and this time around we were shooting bald guys hundreds of times. So
this faction was referred to as the True Sons, which looks far more dangerous than any other faction we've encountered. They have foam guns that we saw. They basically trap us in sort of foam, sort of like something out of Ghostbusters or something, and we can't move, and you got to shoot your allies out of the foam to actually get them to come out of it. So it's weird, but at the same time, I feel like the setting itself is just way more interesting than Manhattan because for one, there's a lot more history. This is the nation's capital. You're seeing a lot of familiar American iconography, like the Washington Monument and numerous museums in the area. Also, in terms of just the variety of environments, it just feels much more visually interesting than Manhattan. And also, it's during a heat wave, so people are going to be running around sweating a lot, and it's going to be weird.
Tell me a little bit actually about the people in the environment.
Well, the thing about this game is that there's a lot more focus on rescuing civilians because those civilians will actually be able to help you during certain conflicts, during one section where we were sort of fighting the True Sons faction, they called in a heavy. Then one of our partners fired a signal flare, which called in the civilians, and they had their own arms, and they were able to help us out. They didn't really go too much into it, but they were a part of the settlement system, which, from what we understand, you basically capture a point on the map, then you'll be able to recruit any of the civilians you've rescued throughout the game and have them stay at that settlement, and you'll be able to have a base.
It seems like that'll keep you in the game more attached to the world than the Echoes did in the previous game. They didn't say that the Echoes weren't in the game, but they did say that you'll actually be playing with characters this time around, rather than just their remnants, which I think is really cool. You'll actually hopefully be able to see your impact of your actions on the world.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in seeing how the sort of familiar Division-style events are going to play out. One thing they did say that we, of course, didn't see was that we're going to be able to experience sort of 8-player raids, and that's kind of a big deal. But I'm excited to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I mean, much larger than last time.
Yep.
I don't know, I guess the overall question is all the stuff they're adding is bigger, better?
Yeah.
It feels like it's definitely going to be a more extensive game this time around. They actually did also confirm there's going to be a dark zone.
Yeah.
So yeah, raids, dark zone, characters in the world that you're interacting with. we're pretty excited for whatever comes next for The Division. Hopefully a beta or something in the near future. But stay tuned to GameSpot.com for more coverage of The Division 2 at E3.